Max Verstappen, one of Formula One's biggest stars in recent years, faced a complicated and surprising moment in the 2025 season, especially during the Hungarian Grand Prix, which shocked many fans and experts. Never before had the Dutch driver gone through such a difficult start to the season, culminating in his worst result without any penalty in no less than 1,463 days. And to make matters worse, Verstappen saw his incredible podium streak, which lasted an astounding 2,653 days, come to an end, going 4 consecutive races without finishing on the podium for the first time since the beginning of his career in 2018. This puzzling gap for the Red Bull driver is even more striking when we remember that, since the start of the 2018 Formula One season, Verstappen had never missed the podium in 4 straight races. The 2025 Hungary scenario not only brought a tough challenge for Max, but also rekindled memories of difficult times he had already faced at the end of the 2017 season and the beginning of 2018. The tension is now palpable. Is Verstappen's reign truly facing a challenge worthy of him, or is this just a passing phase? With the odds of the entire Formula One world on him, Verstappen is more determined than ever to turn things around. The next stage of the season promises to be highly emotional, especially since the championship will resume after the traditional summer break at the Dutch Grand Prix, held at the Zandvoort circuit from August 29th to 31. For Verstappen, this race is much more than a simple GP. It's his home, his stage of epic achievements, where he triumphs no less than 3 consecutive times in 2021, 2022, and 2023, as well as finishing second in 2024. Historically, the Dutch Grand Prix has been a turning point for him, even putting an end to difficult streaks like the 2 races without podium finishes he faced last year. So it's safe to say that the Dutch fans can expect a hungry Verstappen, ready to reclaim his place at the top. However, the contrast with his recent performance at the Hungarian GP couldn't be greater. Finishing only in 9th place, Verstappen experienced his worst finish without penalties since that same 9th place also achieved at Hungaroring in 2021. It's a frustrating paradox for a driver who once seemed unbeatable, but now shows clear signs of struggling to remain at the pinnacle of Formula One. One of the factors working against Verstappen's performance in Hungary was the Red Bull simulator setup, which did not meet the driver's needs on the circuit. This, combined with a qualifying session that left much to be desired, placed Verstappen in a difficult position from the very start of the race weekend. The RB21's struggle to adapt to the demands of the Hungarian track was evident, and this directly affected the driver's confidence. Following a frustrating sequence, Verstappen was surprisingly candid after qualifying for the Hungarian GP, bluntly stating that it was clear to him that he would not win any more races in the 2025 season. This statement was met with shock and concern, not only among fans, but also within the Formula One paddock. He was categorical in saying that the way he saw things at that moment, there would be no future victories, casting a pessimistic tone that until then had not been part of the champion's image. But was Verstappen too harsh on himself? Many believe so. Michael Bleekermolen, a respected voice in motorsport and a fervent Red Bull supporter, considered the driver's comment exaggerated. For Bleekermolen, who follows every race with passion, Verstappen has proven throughout the season that he is still capable of winning, as demonstrated in his recent victories in Japan and Imola. The veteran reminded that in motorsports, sudden changes and technical miracles can happen at any moment, and that Red Bull could still surprise with some masterstroke that brings the driver back to the top of the podium. After all, for passionate Dutch fans, hope can never die.
Despite Verstappen's harsh words, the reality is that Red Bull's performance has been a huge challenge this season. Team principal Laurent Mekies tried to downplay the RB21's grip issues at the Hungarian GP, but the driver and other team members like Yuki Tsunoda did not hide their dissatisfaction. Verstappen kept complaining about the lack of grip, describing the car as numb in the corners, a feeling that compromised his rhythm and confidence throughout the weekend. This technical and results crisis is starting to put enormous pressure on the team, especially on technical director Pierre Wache, who now carries the mission of making the RB21 shine again. With only 1 podium in the last 7 races, a 2nd place at the Canadian GP, it is clear that Red Bull is facing a season far from what everyone expected. However, a worrying point beginning to circulate among experts is that Verstappen himself, by showing this certain public demotivation, might be affecting the team's morale. When your top leader expresses such strong doubts about the ability to win, the psychological pressure on the team and environment intensifies, threatening to accelerate the crisis. Formula One is known for its stunning twists and turns, and no one can rule out that Max Verstappen might still make a comeback this season. The Dutch GP, his home race, will be a crucial test to see if the Dutch phenomenon is ready to reignite the flame of victory, or if he will need more time and adjustments to challenge his rivals again. Meanwhile, the fans, critics, and Verstappen himself remain in a tense standoff filled with curiosity and anticipation. Will the Red Bull star surprise everyone and turn this crisis into an epic comeback story? Or are we truly witnessing the beginning of a new chapter where the fight will be tougher than ever? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the 2025 Formula One season is far from predictable, and the stage is set for intense emotions in the months ahead.